Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about The Traitors, Season 3, Episode 5.
Listen, man. Boston Rob is his name?
Yep.
It's better than me. I would have went after two traitors 2 weeks in a row. I would have went after Danielle this episode so bad. You don't understand. I know that defeats the purpose of the game, but I have a strategy that I want to present to Blair and to you all to see, am I off? Am I on? Blair watched the other seasons. I'm still trying to learn the strategy part of the game. Let me know if I'm on and off when we get to the round table, Blair.
Okay.
Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Let's go.
All right. So we are in the Tourette with the Traitors.
Yeah.
Rob says that he would never come for the ladies unless they came for him.
Do you believe him?
No. Bob came for Rob when he said one of the new guys was the traitor.
Yeah.
Danielle just wants them to be able to discuss these things beforehand. And Rob said that he did come to them and tell them, but Danielle just tells him, okay, but just to let you know, I am not coming for you. But in the confessional, she says she will not be controlled by him.
Oh, okay.
Carolyn knows Bob didn't say Rob's name, and Rob is used to people following him, and she believes it was an ego thing from her perspective.
Dude, you think it was an ego thing?
No.
I think, hey, there's a 33% chance it could be me, where before Bob opened his mouth, it was a 0% chance.
That's exactly where I'm at.
So I'm like, hey, Carolyn, shh.
Okay. So the Traitors make their decision to who to unalive.
Yes.
Carolyn and Danielle do not want to work with Rob moving forward. They just have to pick the right time to get him banished.
Before we knew who it was by breakfast, who did you think that they would go after?
I really didn't know because they were throwing out a few different names. And I was thinking probably Robin because she's been the most vocal. But pretty much Robin.
Yeah, I think they was having a discussion of we shouldn't go after the housewives no more. We got to go after a housewife. So when they said that, I was not expecting a housewife. So when people started coming in for breakfast, I was like, I know who they took out.
Yeah.
You know, let's go.
So breakfast the next morning, everyone is still on a high from getting Bob out. Rob knows that he put a target on his back by coming after Bob with such conviction.
Yes.
And he's going to have to do some damage control if confronted about it.
Yes.
People don't really take Carolyn seriously. I mean, she walked in and everybody's like, she's just kind of disheveled, isn't she?
Yeah.
And they're asking Carolyn if she's okay. But Carolyn wants them to think that she's all over the place.
I actually thought that was a bad move by Carolyn because guess who pointed out that like Carolyn's weird? It was Dylan, rather. He leaned over to Danielle, was like, what's up with her? She seems kind of like off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I'm noticing that you're this way today compared to the other days, then something's off.
I don't know, because every time everybody says Carolyn's twitchy. You know what I'm saying?
I understand
so
that.
I'm just like, I don't think Carolyn's doing anything different.
I ain't gonna hold you. I would have got Carolyn out just because you're twitchy.
Okay.
I would have been like, yeah, just to be safe, peace of mind.
Okay.
I get you out.
Okay.
You know?
So we find out that Robin was unalive.
Oh my goodness. What did Robin say to us, Blair?
She said that she knew it was going to be her because she was a target and she was on the trail of the traitors.
And that they were scared of Robin. Robin, I was cheering for you. I really was. But I got to be honest. Every name that came out of your mouth was wrong. To the point where they brought Bob the drag queen to you and you said, no, couldn't be. Right? So Robin, I don't think that you was close to figuring out who it was. I think in your perspective, if I just say everybody's name throughout every episode, I'll be right eventually. No, we're not going to give you a chance for that. We going to get you up out of here.
But I will give her this much. She was entertaining on the show. She was
very entertaining, yes.
Yeah. So Alan arrives. They're going to have a mission later on today.
Yeah.
Ivar is telling Derek and Carolyn Wes's theory about Rob possibly being a traitor by how he went for Bob so confidently. People are still thinking Nikki could be a traitor. Ivar tells Rob that Wes has come hard at him about Rob being a possible traitor.
Yeah.
So he's telling Rob this because he thinks Wes might be deflecting and might actually be the traitor.
Excellent. Now listen here. I thought that this was excellent only because Boston Rob was able to gain the confidence of everybody in that room by getting the traitor out.
Yeah.
Of course, you know who the traitor was because he's a traitor.
Right.
But the problem isn't that Wes shared what he shared with Ivar. The problem is that Ivar shared it with Boston Rob.
Now he has the ammo.
Now he has the ammo. And now that actually gives Boston Rob that eliminates the element of surprise for Boston Rob. Now he can confirm that, oh, they're after me. One thing Boston Rob said throughout this episode, it was a sidebar, but he said it. He said he knows he's going to be a target, so he has to prepare himself for the round table to defend his position. Yep. And I'm like, that is smart because now you don't have to worry about the element of surprise. So if you're preparing that, now Ivar comes and he confirms it. And hold on, Ivar, I'm telling you this. I'm telling you something that you didn't even think about yourself. Right? Because I was like, there's no way that someone can know that someone's a traitor 100%. And Wes said, unless you're a traitor yourself. And then you gonna come and say Wes could be a traitor? Ivar, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And even for Ivar thinking that Wes might be deflecting, that just gives Rob another tool that he could use against Wes.
Yes.
If it were to come down to them two. If it
came down to it, yeah.
So Rob ends up addressing Wes and asks him, did you say my name as far as being a possible traitor? And Wes lies. He was like, I did not say your name. And Rob says they said that you did. He was just like, I was just kind of complimenting you about how you went about it and how like I said that I probably wouldn't do it that way. But Wes does not want Rob to know that he started that rumor. Rob tells Carolyn that he has her until the end and he doesn't trust anybody else.
If you was Carolyn, would you trust him?
No.
Okay.
Because you literally just got a traitor out and it was too early. It was definitely too early. I do agree that
he put the heat on me though.
I know. I totally agree with that. And that's why I don't fault Rob for taking the shot. But Rob, in a way, like kind of hit himself in the foot during the attack. Yeah. Because now your traitors don't trust you and they're trying to do to you what you did to one of them.
But, and I'm going to talk about it at the round table more. I know you want to do to me what I did to Bob the drag queen, but you don't got the house. You don't got the votes. You don't got the influence. I got people coming to me telling me what somebody else said behind my back. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's where I like the fact that he is actually playing the influence game right now. And I think Boston Rob did some of this episode, which I don't understand why they haven't done more, or they probably will do more. But he did some of this episode while they were driving to the challenges that actually I was like, why don't they just do that?
Well, let's get to it.
Okay, go ahead.
So Carolyn and Danielle talk. They're both not feeling good about what happened with Rob.
Yeah.
Rob is telling Carolyn that he has her no matter what, and Carolyn is sharing this with Danielle. Danielle doesn't know if they possibly could have a survivor alliance. So Danielle feels like she needs a traitor that she can trust to take down Rob. She plans to throw Carolyn under the bus today. And I thought, Danielle, this is the first step in the terrible plan. This is awful. This is the first misstep.
It was so bad that it's like, oh, I'm going to do I'm going to be Boston Rob 2.0. I'm going to throw a traitor under the bus. You don't got the house. You don't have the influence. You get what I'm saying?
So Rob tells Nikki that Bob the drag queen told him that he was voting Nikki out. This is on their ride to the mission.
Yes.
Bob never said that, but Rob wants to start gathering people that he could work with.
Excellent plan. Lie on the person that cannot defend himself.
True.
Excellent plan. I'm like, why haven't y'all throw Bob's name in there since he came out as a traitor? Use Bob as the actual, like, this was his plan, or basically what I heard, not to know that he was a traitor. Say Bob told me, or Bob said this, and things of that nature, and now Nikki's over here like on like alert. So that's what I thought. Boston Rob did a great idea with this right here.
Yeah, and really trying to gather and like garner people's trust and get more numbers on his side.
Yes.
By kind of telling you something that, I wasn't going to tell anybody, but I feel like I got to tell you,
Yeah.
So today's mission, Alan will read a riddle. The answer is written underneath one of the urns. There's like a wall of urns. If you think you know the answer, you have to step forward. If you're the first one to step forward, you get to select the urn with the answer. If you choose the correct answer, you smash it in the stone circle, and if the dust is gold, you win that round. You get money for the prize pot, and you also get to put your shield in one of the your portrait in one of the shield frames. So there are 2 shield frames, and if you have your picture in there by the end of all of the rounds, then you get to have a shield by the end of the game.
Yeah, and guess what? With every right answer, you can choose to put your picture or someone else's picture in the frame. And I thought the riddles was easy. Some people got them wrong, especially what is my man name from like Tom? The Biggest Loser?
Oh, Bob.
Bob.
Yeah, he wasn't even listening.
I'm like, you wasn't even listening. And he just went up there like, you know what, my shield, my head say shield. I'm like, no. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah. So Bob lost the first riddle.
Yeah.
He didn't even listen to the question, so there was no money banked, and he could not put his portrait in the shield frame.
Mm-hmm.
Round 2, Derek gets it right. He puts his portrait up. Round 3, Tom gets his right, and he puts his portrait up. Brittany's strategy is to wait until the end to ensure that if she gets it right, her picture will stay up. Because if your picture's up there early, somebody else is going to get a question right, and they could take it down. Only thing I have for Brittany is how you know you're going to know the answers to the other questions. Yeah. I'm like, just try to get out there as soon as you can. At least this is what my thinking was, and get your picture up there, and at least if it comes down, you have a chance to get it back up there.
Yeah.
So round 4, Danielle gets it right, and she decides that she wants to put up a housewife because she's tired of seeing the housewives targeted.
Dumb. So
she puts Dolores' portrait in the frame, and she decides to remove Derek. She calls herself working to get people on her side right now by leaving Tom up and saving Dolores.
No. First of all, let's go give a little backstory on Dolores. Dolores saw Robin get eliminated from the game, and she's like, you know, they're going after the housewives, and so she was motivated Danielle by like, I'm gonna save a housewife, and I'm gonna gain the faithfulness. I'm gonna gain the trust of the faithfuls through this. No, you don't gain the faith you don't gain the trust of the faithfuls through games. You gotta gain it through conversations,
right?
Because people go think that why would you not save yourself because you're a traitor?
Exactly.
So it's like
you're not scared to go home, and that's what Dolores ended up asking her too.
The whole time, Dolores wasn't even thankful that like you saved her. You get what I'm saying?
She was thankful, but she thought it was odd.
She was like, no, everybody else did. She was like, no, I don't want it. I don't. So that's why I'm like, and then she kept doing it.
Yeah.
Like Danielle was the worst I've ever seen a traitor. I only saw this season.
I was like, are you with us? Are you okay? Like, what is going on, Danielle?
I only saw this season, but this is the worst I ever seen a traitor act within a game itself. I was like, Danielle has no plan. Danielle has no plan.
So Trishelle wins her round. She removes Tom's face, puts hers up. Danielle wins the next one. She puts Derek's face back up, and she tells him that you owe me one.
No, I don't, because I think you're a traitor now.
And Carolyn thinks that she is acting suspicious.
Very.
Dolores asks, don't you feel like you're going to get unalive too? And Danielle in her confessional says, dang it, I messed up.
What?
And then she stands up there, starts crying, talking about she has regrets. And people are like, girl, stop crying. People are really not buying Danielle's act.
First of all, the minute that she did what she did in that first round, Boston Rob leaned over and looked at Caroline like, what the hell she doing?
Exactly.
That was a terrible plan.
So Sierra gets the last riddle correct. She takes down Derek's photo and puts hers up.
Yes.
So the ladies who have the shields are Sierra and Trishelle. On the drive back, Danielle says that she thinks she's safe because she doesn't think the traitors think she's onto them. But she has a theory. She thinks a traitor is a female and it's Carolyn.
So
where's
you just throwing out random, like you're trying to do the Bob move, the Boston Rob rather move, but it sucks.
Bad.
This is the bootleg version. You said, you know who been quiet the whole time? Carolyn. Nobody said her name. I'm like, this seems like a bootleg episode of last episode.
And she's saying that the traitors left Sierra and Nikki in the game as a buffer. And she also throws out there that Carolyn made it to the finals as of Survivor, so don't underestimate her.
What the heck that's supposed to mean? Boston Rob won Survivor. So like, my whole point is this, right? Danielle, what you're trying to do, you're trying to now erase the mistake that you made, and you're trying to do betrayal literally the week after.
It's so sloppy.
It's sloppy. It makes zero sense, right? 2 is better than 1. It's better for you and Carolyn to team up against Boston Rob. But it just seems like, for one, I wish my man was still here. What is my man name? That the bald head black guy?
Oh, Jeremy.
Jeremy, right? Like, how come nobody's paying attention to what Jeremy said about Danielle? I would have seen Danielle moving. I would have been like, what is she doing? Something is strange about that. Now, here's what I'm going to reveal one part of my strategy that I'm going to say at the round table. After seeing this, I feel like Boston Rob should have used this opportunity. It would have been risky to now go after her. I feel like this is the time to go after Danielle.
Okay.
And things like that because of how erratic she was moving. People already thinking it. You got the house as an influence. It's going to be a little risque to be right 2 times in a row. But I think I have a way when we get to the round table to kind of hide it.
Okay, so Danielle tells Brittany that she thinks it's Carolyn, and Brittany says, Carolyn's not capable.
Yeah, wow.
Danielle tells her, Carolyn said your name, Brittany, and now Brittany's going to marinate on it. I'm just like, y'all really underestimate Carolyn. Like, I guess maybe she comes across flighty, but this is a game. It could be anybody. When people say, like, it's definitely not them, I'm just like, how are you so sure?
Who is the host named Alan?
Yeah.
He don't go around about to put his hand on people's shoulder and be like, oh, no, you're not capable.
Exactly.
Like he
like you're the chosen one. It's random.
He randomly picks it. So it's not there's no resume to be a traitor. It's literally, I'm going to walk around for 10 minutes and then I'm going to put my hand on whoever my hand laying on.
Robin, what her strategy or whatever was talking about, Alan's only going to choose the most capable and most worthy person. I'm just like, no, he's not.
He's just any, meeny, miny, moe it. You know
exactly. What I mean? So Danielle planted the seeds. Now she doesn't want to speak too much.
But it's not seeds, though, because here's why it's not seeds. Boston Rob, they viewed Boston Rob as some reality TV game show hero. So without Boston Rob actually being there, they already value his opinion because they like he knows how to play the game, right? With Danielle, they don't value her in that way. They don't see her in that way as someone that is a master manipulator who knows how to win these game shows. So you really don't have the house. You don't have the trust of the faithfuls. Even in the game, I say you lost more of the trust. And if I was there, if I was a faithful, I would have started planting seeds because I would have been like, she did the same thing at the raft, y'all.
Yeah.
That's why you got to keep a little notebook inside the little nightstand when you go to bed and build your case while everybody sleeps.
Yeah, when everybody's acting weird, just write down a bullet point.
Because Boston Rob can't say it because he wasn't there. But I would have said she did the same thing at the raft. And who was she on the raft with?
Bob.
Exactly. Come on now. I'm good at this game.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. Listen here.
We're only good because we know.
I'm only good because I'm watching it from. I'm watching from my POV. You know what I mean?
So Trishelle grabs Rob and she's like really stressing out because Nikki is in her little Bambi group and she thinks Nikki is a traitor.
Oh, Trishelle, you don't know nothing.
People are talking around the house and Sierra and Nikki's names are still floating around.
Yes.
So we get to the round table.
Yeah.
Did you want to flesh out?
Yes. Let me go out to my theory. Right?
Let's hear it.
So let me ask you a question, teacher.
Yes.
How many traitors are there?
3.
No. There's 9. There's 10. There's you have to look at the round table as everybody here is a traitor.
Okay.
Right? Meaning that if I can convince you that it's somebody else besides me and 2 other people, you're a traitor because you're gonna banish a faithful, right? So here's the thing. Here's what I would have did. I like the fact that there's Nikki and Sierra are already viewed as the 2 people who was in the coffin, right? So already we know we're not going to we're not going to eliminate these 2 people as traitors. I wouldn't, because guess what? The faithful's going to get rid of them, right? Because
I'm losing you.
Okay, let me slow it down because I'm talking kind of fast. We know who they eliminated, right? We know that they eliminated Nikki.
Yes.
Right? So that means as a traitor, I am not eliminating Sierra. Why would I eliminate Sierra? Because the faithfuls would just think, oh, Sierra is a traitor. They already think she's a traitor.
The traitors wouldn't unalive Sierra.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So I would not pick Sierra at all. For every person that accused a faithful, they become a traitor in the eyes of the faithful. So for example, at this round table, you know who I will start planting seeds who's a traitor? Sierra, who's already in the heads, and who else? Trishelle, because she was so emotional, so sure, right? So that's why I'm like, there's not just 3 traitors. I can make traitors at this round table. So I would not eliminate Trishelle as a traitor, and I wouldn't eliminate Sierra as a round table.
Because those are your pawns.
Because those are my pawns. So that buys me 2 round tables of me being safe. That's how I would view it as a traitor, right? So I would not eliminate them. Also, I feel like Boston, this was your time. If you wasn't going to get rid of Nikki, as like we saw, this was your time to actually plant seeds, which I don't know why he didn't do it. Plant seeds with Danielle and the only reason why I would do that is because Danielle made that mistake of trying to defend everybody else except for herself, right? You should have planted seeds with Danielle, get them to turn against get everybody to turn against her. Now, I understand that it may be risque that, like, oh, how do you keep picking the right people? But I feel like Danielle is the type of person, the way that everybody was talking and how everybody actually saw it, like, at the game, it probably would have got some heat off of you because they were like, yeah, we did see her kind of twitchy, besides throwing Bob out there like, oh, his voice is kind of loud. Dude, you kind of see what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. The only hole I want to poke in your plan is that it is way too risky for him.
Yeah, it's too risky.
Because it literally one round table after the next, we're getting Traitors out because of what Rob says. Wes's whole theory is going to come to life. Yeah. And they're coming for your next Rob. But I am totally with your theory about the Traitors using the most vocal people at the round table as pawns for possible traitor lookalikes at future roundtables. Because if they think Sierra is a traitor, the next couple times Sierra is not going to be unalive. So people are going to think it's her. The same way, in a way, they kept Nikki around more so because it was more important to get Bob out. But the fact that they kept Nikki, hey, they saved themselves a round table.
Yes.
So yeah.
So there's holes in my holes in my eliminating Danielle
Just
thing.
Just one hole.
But one hole will sink the boat. Right? But I think for the Traitors got to play it smart. Yeah. Hopefully the Traitors don't be dumb to vote Sierra or Trishelle out. Like, because if we could actually keep them in the game to unalive, rather, right? Mm-hmm. Hopefully they don't unalive Sierra or Trishelle, because that will save us 2 round tables. Yeah. That's 2 rounds that we can survive. Because they could be like, well, it's Sierra, obviously. Let's at least get all the people who was in the coffin out. And then I can start playing the seeds of, who was the one that was crying, talking about this is my best friend and all this stuff, and she's willing to throw her best friend under the bus? Yeah. That sounds like a traitor to me. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, what's his name? Dylan. He's hard-headed. He ain't gonna vote what everybody else vote. And eventually people are going to start listening to him because if everybody's proven wrong every time except him, people are going to start listening to him. So then I got to start planting seeds in his head. Yeah. Yeah. That's all I got to say. I'm sweating.
Good strategy.
Thank you.
So let's hear what happened at the round table.
Yes.
Ivar throws out the 3 names that everyone has been talking about just to get the conversation started. Nikki, Sierra, and Rob, and he's giving them the floor to basically defend themselves. Rob says that he is a faithful. He wanted to wait until he felt like he had it before he actually went after someone to get the traitor, which it worked out. Nikki thinks that Rob is the faithful. Girl, you need to be worried about yourself right now.
Yeah, Nikki, you about to go. You about to go.
Sierra explains how she put her guard up after being put in the coffins. Nikki did throw her name out there, and Nikki said, well, because Sierra, I thought you were a traitor. Sierra says, you're just always one level, like you show no emotion, like you don't even really laugh fully, and you didn't show surprise when Bob left. Nikki tells everyone, this is just my personality. This is just how I am. Nikki felt like Sierra was avoiding her, and maybe the theory of a traitor being in a coffin was right. She knows it's not her, so it could definitely be Sierra.
True.
Trishelle is super emotional and kind of finally gets out what she's trying to say, is that she is not in an alliance. She is here to catch traitors. She felt Nikki's energy shift after Bob left, and maybe it means that Nikki is a traitor. Bob Harper knows how Rob is, and he feels like he would go for a traitor to establish his dominance.
Oh, yeah.
But Rob says, but that's not what happened. That is what happened.
And dude, you know what's funny?
What?
While I was watching this, because we watched it separately. While I was watching this, you know who I was thinking who the traitor should just who they should eliminate just randomly? Who? Bob from The Biggest Losers. But that statement alone saved him.
Yeah.
Because now if I take him out, it's going to look like who says something about Boston Rob? Yeah. And I'm like, that statement saved him, because if I was a traitor, you would have been gone tonight, brother. Yeah. You are the biggest loser tonight. You know what I'm saying?
So everyone votes. Nikki is banished. Yeah. And of course, she is a faithful.
Of course. And Trishelle... and guess what? If I was a traitor, I'd be so happy. I'd be like, okay, so they definitely go vote for Sierra next week.
Yeah.
And then that buys me time for a whole week to plant Caesar Trishelle. So that buys me 2 rounds of if we don't fight amongst ourselves.
Yes.
You know, of safety.
Yeah. So Derek and Wes are confident Rob is a traitor now. Yeah. Dylan tells Carolyn that Danielle threw her name out there. Dylan tells Carolyn, but don't worry, I'm talking her out of it. And Karen says she won't say say anything. This is information for her to have and to do with it what she wants when she's ready. So yeah, peep game, Carolyn. And the thing is, like, I am always for the underdog, and I feel like, Danielle, why couldn't you work with Carolyn? What did Carolyn show to show you that she couldn't have been worked with? Because Carolyn, every time y'all was in that room, nobody was listening to her, and she kept shaking her head no the whole time. So I'm just like, Danielle, if you would have been able to like really just talk to Carolyn and like kind of see where she was coming from and like care about her perspective, I think y'all really could have had something. But for some reason, she felt like Carolyn couldn't have been worked with.
And that's what I'm saying. And you made the most. Talk about Danielle. Yeah. You're talking about throwing names under the bus. You have been the most nastiest traitor so far. Like the moves you've been doing, the emotions. I think she thinks she's a good actress in all of this. I would have been like, this is terrible. You're terrible in this, especially in that game where you were saving everybody except yourself. Yeah. So if you was a traitor, is this it? I just want to say when Danielle was up there crying, people were telling her to sit down. Yeah. Well, you ain't got to stand up there and cry, girl. Yeah. But what were we gonna ask me? Yes, this is all. As a traitor, who are you unaliving next? As a traitor, this is very important now. Who would I unalive next? Honestly, I would go for a threat. And it's only one right name in my opinion. And the only threat I would really go for is Wes. Really? Yeah. I wouldn't go for Wes. I go for Ivar. I go for Ivar. Well, for me, I feel like Ivar, he is not strong in what he thinks. He's kind of all over the place. But Wes is going to be strong about what he thinks, and he's going to attack at some point. But let me tell you why. Yeah. If I take out Ivar, in a way, I take out Wes. No, you're not. Wes is not to be played with. Because here's what I'm thinking. Ivar told people that he thinks Wes is deflecting. I would start planting seeds with that. I would take out Ivar and basically said Wes is doing this. Like Wes, like so basically and use Wes as a pawn use Wes as a person to get him. He's rather go out in a circle or he going out in the next round. Either way, I'm gonna get Wes out, right? Rather it's gonna be at the round table with the faithfuls, or guess what? I'm gonna take out Ivar, and if he's surviving the round table, I'm taking out Wes. Okay. You know what I mean? But I think Ivar would have been a great person to take out as a traitor to plant it on Wes, because it was Ivar who said, I think Wes is deflecting. And I would have started planting what Ivar's told everybody and things like that. I mean, what Ivar told me to everybody. So when I take out Ivar, I could be like, Wes did say he was deflecting. That's how I would do it. But guess what? I'm watching it from my couch. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what I would have did? I would have been Robin 2.0. Okay. I know who it is. No, it cannot be Carolyn. It's Dolores. You know what I mean? Exactly. So it's like, who knows? Anything else? That's it. Make sure y'all subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Y'all be good. Bye.